and welcome back to Generic Sports Podcast. I'm your host, the Goose, Josh.
And I'm John.
Today we're going to talk about Week 11 in the NFL.
As we keep going forward, we keep getting depressed.
All right, it's almost over. I mean, besides playoffs, but
Right.
not. Some of us won't get to see our teams in the playoffs. My team, we'll talk about a little bit more. I have no idea. It was 4 weeks ago. I would have been like, man, nope. Ain't seeing them in the playoffs.
Man, the NFL is a fun season.
It is, but we're gonna talk about few of our favorite games throughout the week. I think that's what we're gonna do this week. That's kind of what we were doing with our most surprising, most disappointing. So I think we want to focus on kind of a top 5-ish games, because that's what's most surprising to us is how these games just went.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the best way to describe it.
Mm-hmm.
Just been trying to think about ways to make it feel welcoming. So let us know what you think about it this week. And first, I want to start with the Lions and the Bears. Now that was a game like we didn't really watch a lot of the games as much as we should have because the Dolphins were on in the morning, so it was fun to and since we're in the Vegas area, we got to watch. We decided to watch it, the whole thing, so.
Oh yeah, we mainly focus on like our teams, and if not, we watch Red Zone. We watch the Red Zone, and then we watch the Red Zone during commercial breaks or stuff. So we get a little bit.
We try and catch a little of everything. So, but the Lions, they I don't want to always say this term, but that was definitely one of the most shocking how that game went. With they were down by at least I think 12, something like that. They were down a good chunk for a while there, and Jared Goff threw 3 interceptions for the first time in a long time. So the Lions, good on them for finding a way to come back and win. The Bears feel like they got that stink that I've mentioned before, and I
don't think the Bears have gotten rid of that stink, and I think they will it'll probably be next week, if anything.
Well, yeah, I think we'll see what happens there. It's like Justin Fields has only won 1 game this year. Tyler Bagent has won 2. I don't know how long can you go with Justin Fields?
As long as they want, because I feel like they said, the media said that they're an old school ran team, and that is their problem. They are stuck in the past, and they I don't know if Justin Fields is I feel like the coaching's the problem again.
Well, yeah, he's definitely in the now I would say top 3 most likely to get fired coaches. Around the area of I think number 1 right now is Brandon Staley, but that's another topic for later.
Yes.
And I don't know, between Frank Reich and Ron Rivera are number 3, so I'd have to put Eberflus at 2.
Right, they really haven't looked good. They haven't. I mean, except for Justin Fields is running the ball, but your quarterback has to be more of a dual threat, and he feels more of a threat only on the ground.
I think he'd work well in an I've said this before, an Arthur Smith offense. I just don't. At first, I don't know why they didn't. I mean, besides the old school mentality of keeping him around, I don't know if I don't know if Justin Fields has it. There are some things that you can just see, there's a lot of talent on that defense, and there is talent on that offense. I don't know what else. If it's coaching, then I personally don't think anybody's getting fired until after Thanksgiving. That's why nobody got, with the exception of stuff in Pittsburgh that we'll talk about. I don't think any head coach is getting fired until after that.
Pretty much, with so many games on a short week for some coaches, and because it's Thanksgiving, I don't see any head coaches getting fired either because it was
right.
because of it.
I mean, hour before know, like yesterday I would have said the same thing before the stuff in Pittsburgh happened, but we'll get into that a little later. But to talk about the game,
good on the Lions for making that comeback,
right? I mean, they've got one of the best run games, like two of the best running backs in the game right now, with Jahmyr Gibbs and
David Montgomery.
Yeah,
and now we see why they picked up David Montgomery instead of Jamal Williams. This is like
right. Their system was just like, hey, we can get anybody to run this system. So
well, David Montgomery was really good with the Bears, but he's on a better team now.
Yeah, I think he got injured, and they just, I mean, hey, you know what? Good for him, honestly. So I really like this Lions team. They're outside of that the Ravens lost, and that the one where nobody played defense with Seahawks. They're looking good. I want to see their defense improve because I think that's going to matter when the playoffs come.
Yeah, their defense.
Why really quick, and that's why I think they're ranked in I want to say 4th as far as the NFC goes, because I think it's Eagles, 49ers, and maybe Cowboys before them, and it's really just the defense.
It's really crazy when they're the second best team in the NFC,
record-wise. Yeah,
record-wise, like their defense just can't have games where they just don't show up.
Yeah,
like they've managed to survive. They beat the Chargers, but your defense can't just not show up and go into shootouts in these games. But all these good defenses have entered into shootouts, like the Browns and the Colts that one game. How the Browns ended up in a shootout against Gardner Minshew just shows, I guess, how good the Colts are this year.
Right. Well, it's a whole nother story. But as far as the Lions go, Bears, are we good? I don't know if there's anything.
Just that if the Lions can stay scrappy and keep fighting, they're fine.
I see why they're ranked 4th in the NFC for a reason. Doesn't mean that they can't beat all the other teams. I think they could beat the Eagles right now.
Right. I don't see any of the other teams giving them exactly trouble, except for maybe the 49ers. But I mean, their win. But it depends on if the 49ers are healthy. But I think that finishes. That's my final thoughts on it.
All right. Let's so much to talk about. It's been a long week for football stuff.
Right.
We don't have to get too into the game because it was kind of a lousy game when all was said and done because of the injury. But Joe Burrow's out for a season, and that sucks with a wrist injury.
Swag Daddy, no.
Yeah. So, but I think that would have been a better game if he didn't get hurt. And who knows if he was hurt beforehand and that just flared up. I haven't heard anything else after the whole he wore wrist guard on the way out.
It was a compression sleeve, and sometimes they say they wear those because of the airplane, because of how the air pressure affects things, and it just wanted to protect his wrist or whatever.
I didn't know compression sleeves looked like that because it looked more like something that I had,
It could be a specialized
a wrist, something that looked like it was, more of a bandage wrap thing, like after you have a surgery or some,
It could there's some who knows, it could be specialized, but
I guess I'm sure we'll hear more in the next week or two.
Yeah, I just hopefully the Bengals can stay competitive.
I hope so too. Browning didn't look bad, so
no, it's just that you were just thrown in against the Wolves, against the Ravens at their in the middle of the game, and you lose Joe Burrow. It's it's a deflating game. It was exactly the same thing like last year Thursday Night Football when Tua got knocked out against the Bengals. So I know exactly how the Bengals felt.
Your franchise guy, it seems like a guy everybody loves. He's got that mentality, hey, it's like you can come to me, I got you, kind of, it's we're gonna be cool, there's a lot of things to love about Joe Burrow.
There's an energy to him that just makes everyone else better, and that's what they're going to be missing.
Well, I think ESPN showed this whole thing during training camp with this I want to say magician. This guy, they just there's just an energy about Joe, you can see, and that's it just sucked all the energy out of them. But on the other hand, on the other side of the Mark Andrews went down. Odell got hurt a little bit. Lamar seemed like he came up a little shaky. I know they're not honestly, as long as they can make it through the season, like without anything else, like Mark Andrews is important. But as long as they can continue to play well, right now I feel like the Ravens are the team to beat. So we will see if that's true.
Right, they have like the Ravens have everything right now. As long as they stay healthy, they're really hard to stop. I worry about the Dolphins playing them later in the year, so like it's just they're firing on all cylinders, right?
Yeah. I mean, it seems like they win one every 12 years. If I remember 2000, and then what 2012. So maybe the Raven. It's like do the Ravens win another one next year, or is it this year?
Because it'll be 2024.
But it's like the 2000 Super. I don't really remember.
Right.
Or was it 2000 season? I think so. Yeah. But either way, the Ravens look great.
Right.
That defense looks good. So not just from this week, but just against like Seattle and Detroit too. So
I mean, their only worry is that they're in the toughest division in football. So.
Right. The one that everybody gets injured and they beat. Everybody gets it's like
they brutalize each other.
Right? It's like a fighting tournament, like freaking Dragon Ball.
Right.
I mean, how many times it's like when Tien broke Yamcha's leg. Like, how many people are gonna go out like that? Like everybody's going down, and so they're out for the King Piccolo saga.
Right.
So with that, I
mean, they do have a tough schedule. They have their easy part of the schedule, then they go into the difficult part of their schedule. The Ravens. So.
Yeah. So who do they got coming up?
They have both LA teams. That's the easy part of their schedule, and then the Jaguars, 49ers, Dolphins, and Steelers.
Hopefully, we get some of those in prime time. Besides the Steelers, but
two of them are in prime time.
Awesome.
The Jaguars and the 49ers.
Okay, maybe they'll move the Dolphins one too, but we'll see.
Right, like three of those next 6 games are primetime games.
That should, we'll see how they do. I'm like not the hugest Ravens fan, but they're playing good, so it's like you gotta give them
you gotta give them the respect they've earned.
Yeah, still bitter about that double playoff game that year that they won the double overtime game. Yeah.
I mean that's fair.
I think that was Brandon Roby. I think he missed a. It still pains me.
I still don't. I'm still bitter about that first game of the season when we played them and it was 59-10. That hurt.
Weren't they the team that wasn't that the team that you beat?
They were also the only team we beat in the 2007 season. So
there's a lot of history for our team versus the Ravens. So it's kind of understandable.
They beat us in playoff games too. So I mean,
but you had that comeback win last season. So
I hope.
Hold that one.
I know.
The last 2 games.
It's going to be wild this year.
Yes, it is. But Ravens doing good, so respect to them.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see. I probably will root for them, just because I don't want to see the Chiefs win another one. So for multiple reasons, they're my rivals. I don't need that back again. Nick Wright.
Oh yeah, we don't need Nick Wright.
I love Nick Wright, but it's like I just want to see the reaction. It's so great. I think it's so great. So,
right.
I love first things first. So,
anyways,
now we'll move on to the other part of the AFC North and just talk about briefly big defensive battle. Browns Steelers. Brown DTR local. Bishop Gorman local guy winning his first NFL start. So congratulations to Dorian Thompson Robinson. Yes.
Yeah.
I wanted to make sure we were both saying it right. That's why I refer to. I mean, it's DTR. So it's like,
yeah, whatever's easier. It's just like how we use Tua and we don't go trying to pronounce his full first name.
I try not to pronounce Tungo Vailoa too. So, but once you hear it a few 100 times, you get used to it. So I'll know Dorian Thompson Robinson and
right
more and more. So it's like
exactly.
It's like honestly, I was like, I'm making sure it's like I said DTR. I'm like, it's not Dorian Robinson.
I'm sure people would make that mistake.
Yeah, I'm sure too. But good for Dorian Thompson Robinson getting his first win. DTR played all right, but he got his win. That defense is amazing.
To win against that defense, to win against the Steelers defense is something. I mean, I know the Browns and the Steelers have two of the top defenses in the league, so that's why it was only 13-10.
Yeah.
And they both have great defenses but mediocre offenses.
I was gonna say that's one of the reasons. The other reason is because the Steelers offense sucked and they finally fired Matt Canada this week. So
it is going to be a very happy Thanksgiving in
right? I was surprised any coaches got fired, but if there was going to be one, it was going to be him or Brandon Staley. So
right, I think because it's a primetime game for the Chargers, they didn't want to get rid of him just yet.
I agree. I think we'll see how they do.
So when the Ravens destroy them, then he will be fired.
Maybe. I feel like if they got destroyed or something, that would be a better loss than losing one-score games. I don't know. I really don't. I don't know how to,
I don't know. But I don't know. I think losing a one-score game is better than that playoff game they lost last season,
which was also a one-score game. But that being said, let's see what they can do with the Steelers offense. I don't know who took over, but I know quarterback's coach called plays for has been through this before.
I thought it was the running backs coach that took over.
Oh, really? Okay, because I heard that there were options. So but it's still anything to get that there looks like there's a lot of talent on that team. So
yeah, running backs coach Eddie Faulkner is expected to take over.
I don't know
with quarterback coach Mike Sullivan as the play caller. So they're both
okay. Good.
So
that was Mike Sullivan was the one that I was thinking. I heard about because he did the play. That's the thing. Doing the play calling that makes sense for Mike Sullivan, right? Sullivan.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So with that, I think that's all the time we really need to spend on that because it wasn't really much of a game, but we did want to talk about
Matt Canada.
Yeah. You want to go on your game?
Yes, we'll jump to the Raiders at the Dolphins. If Josh McDaniel was still with them, I think we would have scored a lot more points. But since Antonio Pierce took over, it was a lot more difficult of a game.
Right.
And we need to stop shooting ourselves in the foot because the Dolphins feel like they're beating themselves more than any other team's beating us. But we still won, and our defense has picked up immensely. We're more of a defensive team than an offensive team after having one of the best offenses.
Just gotta find a middle ground and be good both.
As long as the offense needs to get back on track, while the defense needs to act like how it stay great. And if you can figure out how to get better, even though we're playing great, get better, play greater, be the best. Jalen Ramsey, his interception at the end was fantastic, and it does suck about Devon Achane after his return, going out and re-injuring his knee, but he's fine. Here's the weird thing: he's fine. Devon Ahmed's on IR.
How did that happen? I didn't realize Ahmed got injured in that game.
He hurt his foot. He's on the short IR, so he's out for the next.
Was it in game?
Yeah, I guess.
Oh.
I'm like, Ahmed got hurt. I'm like, well, at least we still have Jeff Wilson. Achane's questionable, so he'll still be good. We have Jeff Wilson, and Chris Brooks should be getting off IR soon too. And Raheem Mostert is still one of the best running backs in the league. But yeah, I think we needed to run the ball at certain times instead of pass, on that 4th and 1, because I saw that again, and it looked more like Raheem would have been able to break through, there was more of a running lane.
Yeah.
On the play that Tyreek I think got kind of hurt on. But Tyreek played great, especially in that one play. I think NFL meme shared four Raiders surrounding him, and it says Tyreek scores a touchdown on this play.
Right. I was just gonna say I'm glad Jalen Ramsey didn't get hurt. That was an incredible interception at the end of the game.
Yeah, he just had the wind knocked out of him.
Yeah, but that was a great. I love good defense. So
right. The Jalen's. All three of the Jalens played well, though they need to get Jalen Waddle and more involved.
They do, because Waddle was doing great that series or two that Tyreek was injured. So can we get them both the ball more?
I know you have so many good players. It's hard to get the ball to everyone when you have so many good players. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's just I think we're still looking good. Like our defense is covering up our problems, and we just need to stop turning the ball over. Like
Right.
stop fumbling, stop getting intercepted. Just play a bit better. But the team still looks fun. And this is some of my favorite Dolphin. This is one of my favorite seasons so far I've watched, and there's been a lot of pain. So I have a lot more confidence in the team than I've had in years. There's been years of suffering. If you've been a Dolphins fan, you know the years of suffering. But the Raiders,
actually, that's what I wanted to mention about the Raiders.
They look a lot better. They look a lot better. Aiden O'Connell definitely really fought against the Dolphins. Like he was competitive.
Yeah, I thought he looked good. It was nice to hear Hunter Renfro's name. Because he was, dude, Josh McDaniels. That was your Julian Edelman type guy. Like, what the heck? So, and Wes Welker.
Yeah, well, ironically, he got beat by Wes Welker because he's on the Dolphins right now as the wide receivers coach. So,
I hope there's no Wes Welker curse. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, we didn't win a Super Bowl with him.
I want just like Dan Marino, Wes Welker deserves a Super Bowl ring too.
He played it a lot more,
right? So, I mean, I don't think we're cursed or anything like that. No,
I mean he hasn't.
Right.
Hopefully he doesn't have.
Yeah, I don't want it like that. But actually, yeah, it's like they didn't beat Josh McDaniel. Josh McDaniel's gone. What am I saying? I'm like,
right.
I'm getting lost in the hype of everything here. But yeah, no, the Raiders. I think the Raiders are still going to look strong. I mean, it was a road game.
Yeah.
But
in the morning,
they were still in Miami seat when Miami had them wearing their black uniforms where Miami, where it's still hot out.
Yeah.
So still they're playing well. I think they were still in it. Like they could, if Jalen Ramsey didn't intercept that ball, like we could have went into overtime.
It could have. I just want to say, Antonio Pierce, he's. I hope he gets that job. I'm not, I can't be a Raiders fan. Like I can't. It's like, but you know what? It's like I want to see some competition. So like he, said Rich Bisaccia should have got the job. Like don't mess this up this time. The players are playing for Antonio Pierce.
If he wins the Chiefs. Then
that should just seal the job right there.
If he sweeps Chiefs, yes.
Oh my gosh!
If he sweeps the Chiefs, just hire him. You can get past the Rooney Rule pretty easily. You don't need to worry about it.
You don't have to worry about that. Everything is good.
Everything's kosher. You're good
because he is the man for the job. If
you can beat the players both times, then yeah.
Right. The defense is looking solid, more than just Max Crosby.
Yeah. Well, Austin Jackson basically made Max Crosby non-existent this game, and they still look good.
Right. I was gonna say there was a rookie, I think that was looking pretty good. Their top pick. I'm blanking on his name, but
yeah, I'm not remembering.
But I know they mentioned it was top pick. So other than that, I think Antonio Pierce should get a job. Dolphins look pretty solid there. Still need to beat a team with a winning record, but at least you beat a team without a losing record.
Right. It was a 500 team, and they were on a win streak.
Right. So
we beat a team with momentum.
Right. I did like the handshake between I didn't know Mike McDaniel and Antonio Pierce were friends because the way it's like the way that the game ended, they were friendly. They were friends. So but yeah, I really think that they gotta get Jalen Waddle a little bit more involved, and I think that will help your offensive.
Yeah, Tua needs to they just need to stop with the interceptions. The O-line needs to be healthy. I think some guards were out, but everyone seems to be stepping up, so that's what matters. That we could win games even with an injured O-line. So I just want to see I know we got some of the scores because of penalties, and it's I want to see us get down the field and score without needing penalties to help. I want to see us be the good team team be the great team that I know we are.
Yeah. So I think we can move on. Not much to talk about. Jaguars won. Trevor Lawrence looked great. Will Levis at least is showing stuff. I think that I don't think Mike Vrabel deserves to be fired, but they gotta get him.
They need a new offensive coordinator.
I think they need a new offensive coordinator, and they might need a new GM. I think they need better talent and get more people to come there because they're missing stuff. They're clearly missing stuff.
Right? They just need to get back on track, and who knows if the Falcons head coach doesn't keep his job, maybe he goes back to Tennessee and becomes
but the Jaguars, they look solid, especially after a 3-point loss. They had only 3 points in the loss last week. So
right, San Francisco really was tough.
Right. Another quick one. Cowboys beat the Panthers.
As they should have.
Right. Nobody didn't expect that. Deron Bland tied the record for most pick sixes in a season. So we'll see if he gets another one.
Yeah, Deron Bland.
I think he will.
Bland is looking anything but.
Looking spicy.
We're changing his name to Deron Spicy.
Right. Let's see. Giants beat the Commanders. Good job, Tommy DeVito. I don't know what's up with the Commanders, but
I mean, they did trade 2 of their big defensive pieces.
Their defense looks exactly the same. So
right, like I mean, I'm sure the new owner is going to make some moves after getting this team, and will try to correct it. But like, you know what, you got rid of Dan Snyder. No one can take that away from you, Commanders. So and you do have. I think you do have, and Sam Howell does look good. You just need to get an offensive line to protect him. You have a ton of offensive weapons, so it's really just fixing your defense and offensive line.
Right. Trying to think if there's anything else to really add to that. I mean, there was no hot water, so that must have sucked after the game to shower.
That's what Tommy DeVito said about his hair.
Right. So, honestly, they overpaid for like without really getting into it, they overpaid for Daniel Jones. It's going to be an interesting offseason for the Giants,
especially if DeVito can continue this momentum.
If he wins some games, like good on him. So and plays good. So we'll see. The offensive line needs to got to make sure not to get sacked, but that's another thing. After that, we'll just Texans and the Cardinals. CJ Stroud's worst game, 3 interceptions. Tank Dell still looks great. Like he's definitely becoming a number 1 with the. Right. They got a connection. I think if I saw some of the stats, I think they'll be like the best rookie combo like for touchdowns, because I think they're at 6 and the record is 7, and there's like 6 or 7 more games left, though.
Right. Also, shout out to Devin Singletary to being this great running back that we all knew he could be if the Bills used a running back.
Not called Josh Allen. Cardinals. They're scrappy.
Right. They still look good. Like I think Kyler's just getting his feet back, and like I think they'll win. I think they'll win more games than just the 2 they have.
I think that whatever their draft position is, they will. One of 2 things. They will either get a buttload of draft picks for where they're at and keep Kyler, or they could still get some picks, but I still think that they could get Marvin Harrison Jr. and that could really up their offense.
Right. Kyler's not a bad quarterback at all. So
right.
Just need more than a quarterback to win games.
Yeah. I also think Houston gave up a pick so I don't it's like not that they were gonna have a high one to get Marvin Harrison Jr. So and not that they need him right now. So let's see. I want to save some of the more in-depth ones for after. Rams beat the Seahawks. Puka's looking great again. I don't know if you need Cooper Kupp and Puka on the field at the same time, because when they are both on the field, neither is getting enough. When Puka's just on the field, he's been very, very great, like very talented, very like he's gonna break their rookie, receiving yards.
I think they said what was it? They said that Matthew Stafford got hit and woke up, and it woke him back up into playing good. Maybe he just needed the right hit to kickstart his engine. So honestly, I think they just need to figure out using both Cooper and Puka together, right? Just like Tyreek and Jalen in Miami. We're just saying they need to get Waddle more involved. They need to get them both more involved.
Yeah, I don't know how hurt Cooper Kupp is, but
yeah, Cooper Cup's hurt right now, so we'll see. But that should be good for Puka.
Right. Seahawks. Can't believe they got swept by the Rams.
Well, I mean, I know Geno got hurt, but still, getting swept by the Rams is
surprising, honestly, coming into the season. So
right.
What was it? So after Bills, Joe Brady looked like he called a good game. Zach Wilson looked like a mess. I mean, as he was going out on the field, he fell, tumbled backwards, and then took out like him and Robert Saleh collided, and
it was not a good day for Zach.
It was not. And then he got benched, and now he's the third stringer, and the Dolphins are playing against Tim Boyle next week, or on Friday.
Yeah, so we'll see how the Jets play with Tim Boyle. So
I think Trevor Siemian will take over that game at some point, because Trevor is at least a decent, competent backup. If he didn't get hurt, I think he would have still been the Broncos starter. So
right, and I think the Bills are hopefully have course corrected with Joe Brady, but we'll see.
Right, Trevor's still like the last quarterback, like our quarterback who I think led the team to the last winning record. So,
oh god,
because we had a winning record after Peyton, just wasn't a playoff team that year.
Right.
So, but the Bills, see if they can continue this. See what kind of, it was the Jets
now
in
they
Buffalo.
Have now they have the real test of the Eagles
and Kansas City, like back-to-back weeks. So, right, I think back-to-back weeks or something.
I think
so
something.
They've got I think they've got like 2 or 3 hard games coming up. So I don't know. They're all in the next 3 weeks. I don't know if it's 3 games in a row.
I think they have Dallas as well involved.
That might be the game I'm thinking. That might be in 2 weeks. I think the Chiefs are in 3 weeks. So
yeah, it's not an easy schedule for the Bills,
right? But that was a get right. They had a win game. That was, if a team had to win this week, that was the team that had to win this week. It was a must win for them, and they won it. So good for them. What's their schedule look like?
So the Chiefs are their second game, but it's in week 14 because they get their bye week in week 30.
Okay, so that's why I was thinking it's the next. Okay, so we'll see how they do after the bye week. At least they get the bye week to prepare, because
right.
I don't think anybody's really gonna. If I'm them, I'm like, nobody's going on vacation. We're going to be studying all of the film, and like maybe an extra couple of days off. But I'm like definitely working Thursday, Friday, Saturday of that bye week to prepare,
especially for the Chiefs.
Right. 49ers beat the Buccaneers. Brock Purdy threw for a perfect passer rating. The first 49ers quarterback to do that since 1989 with Joe Montana, not Steve Young, but Joe Montana. So say what you will about Purdy, but there's something special about him. Maybe he's just special enough that he understands the system enough, but he's doing some good stuff in San Francisco.
And losing only helps you become better. So it was helpful for them. But I don't know how good they are without Trent Williams.
Well, but I mean, we know O-line's super important. All right, I think that only leaves the last 3 games that I really wanted to talk about, and because those were just 49ers won 27-14. I don't know. Baker didn't play bad. I don't know what the problem in Tampa Bay is. Is it coaching? We shall see.
Right. I think their players are doing good. They have a lot of the pieces they need. It's just not gelling. Something's just not gelling.
Well, we've said this before about some coaches. Some coaches are just better as coordinators. Is it like Steve Spagnuolo? If he gets another head coaching job, is he actually going to be good as a head coach, or is he just better as a coordinator? Same thing with Todd Bowles. We've seen him be an excellent coordinator, but he had his time with the Jets. Can he be an excellent head coach? I don't know.
They might just not have the right offensive coordinator.
But that's a lot of questions to be asked to find out. That being said, so speaking of coaches, probably definitely a good coordinator and a horrible head coach, the Chargers and the Packers. The Packers won 23-20. The Chargers lost another another one-score game that they easily could have won without all those drop passes.
Mm-hmm.
And when I say easily, I mean they could have been up at least 10 with, I think, a couple of those dropped ones, because I think there was at least one in the end zone by Keenan Allen.
Oh, they're missing Mike Williams. That's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
The rookies need to, like, what was it, Quentin
Johnston
didn't make the catch he needed to, and like Justin Herbert is too good of a talent to like put him in this position that he's in. You can't waste Justin Herbert.
Right. If everybody thinks he's as talented and as great as he is, they're wasting him. I could see Eric Bieniemy being the head coach there, unless he likes Washington and wants to stay there.
Well, I mean, and Washington hires him, like, as the head coach.
Yeah.
Good for Green Bay. They're staying in this. Like,
right.
They're third in the division, and at least they now have one more win than the Bears. So who knows what they are and what they'll be. But maybe Jordan Love is getting better.
Right. I mean, he had a 300-yard game. Maybe he's just, sometimes you just gotta learn. So like I know it's like his fourth season, but it really is kind of like a rookie season. Like, let him learn. Let's see how he does next year.
That's just the problem. Is like, I think it depends on his win, how many wins they get. Depends on like how much they're going to really pay him. But I don't think he's going to break. If they do pay him, he's not going to break the bank.
I thought he had one more year, because I think next year's is that extension that they gave him.
Does he have that still?
Well, yeah, because they signed some. It wasn't the 5th-year option. I think they signed something because he's in the same boat as Tua, as far as But
okay, yeah, he did. He does have another extension.
So,
okay, so he's good. Yeah, he's good.
So I guess it depends on if they want to, like, unless they see somebody that they really like in the draft, see one more year, because there's always going to be more quarterbacks that come out than the year afterward too. So
right, and so basically, if they're closer to the higher part of the draft and could get one of the top quarterbacks, I would say if they like one of them, go for it. But if they keep winning games, then they'll probably just stick with Jordan Love.
Yeah. But yeah, then Brandon Staley, that rant, bro, dude. Honestly, I said this about like Vance Joseph and Sean Payton. Like, you're the head coach. You're supposed to oversee all of this. If your job is not doing well, if you're not doing your job and being able to call a good defense and making these names not, that have been good elsewhere or even in with the Chargers, you're failing your job. You deserve to be fired. So maybe the first thing to do is let somebody else call a defense first, because you're probably not lasting the rest of the season. But if you at least want, some respect, and you still have time to turn this season around if you could just like not focus on the defense, not call defense. So if you were an OC, if you were just, a DC, if you were just a coordinator, you'd have been fired by now.
Easily. But he'd probably be better as just a DC.
Probably. So that's really all my piece on that.
It looks like Aaron Jones also missed, only has an MCL sprain and not a big time injury.
That's but yeah, the Packers still need to improve. At least they're a second half team.
They're scoring in the first half at least.
They're getting to that finally. Let's got 2 more games. We'll finish this up. I don't have a whole lot to say about the Broncos. I think Sean Payton's getting rid of that thing. They're learning how to win the games at the end, and I think that the biggest thing is just let Russ do a little bit more. He's good in those 2-minute drills. Like let them try a little bit more.
Right, just let him run the 2-minute drill the entire game.
Maybe not exactly like that, but like let him have.
He needs to play that consistently.
Yeah. I like that we didn't give up on the run game. It still needs work, but turnovers definitely hurt the Vikings. But I'm glad our defense played great. I mean, minus giving up some the run yards, but hopefully we'll get better next week,
right?
Because we do play Kareem Hunt, so
yeah, and Jerome Ford, so
right. The Vikings, I think they're still in it. I think they'll make a wild card this year.
It was 2 streaking teams that your streak just caught them at the end, and you put them in a bad position at the very end. Like fourth down, and they had to like try to make a long 4th down conversion, and they couldn't. So.
Right, so 4-game win streak. I hope it continues into a 5. We'll see, because Broncos is going to be hella defensive matchup.
Right? Don't expect a lot of scoring unless this randomly goes into like the Colts rounds.
I mean, I could see 20-13, and that might be generous.
Could be all field goals.
Right. I'm glad Will Lutz hit everything. I know he's had his problems, but I do feel like he's a bit more consistent than McManus. So look like it's working out. So we'll see how that goes for the rest of the season.
Yeah, more recently, he's been more successful. I feel like he's missed less than McManus used to.
Right. But yeah, just everything's working right now for the Broncos. So
I think the Vikings will be better once Justin Jefferson comes back with Josh Dobbs. So
yeah.
So I don't think there's anything. I don't think the Vikings really need a panic. You just outplayed them. It was a good
at the
game.
end. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Cortland Sutton with another amazing grab, another amazing touchdown.
Right.
All right. So let's finish up. Eagles and Chiefs. I'm glad the Eagles won.
Right, the Chiefs joined the rest of the AFC at 3 losses. The rest of the higher up of the AFC with 3 losses. So it's a gigantic high now.
Right. I was thinking. I know people said that this is either a Super Bowl rematch or a Super Bowl preview for this year, and I think it was just a rematch. I don't know if either team's really gonna get there. The Eagles defense gave up a lot of run yards. They didn't look great throwing the ball. They at least got the win. That's what matters.
But the Chiefs offense the Chiefs in the second half have stunk the last 3 weeks.
No points in the. Not even a field goal. Like a field goal could be something, but not even a field goal.
You can't go forward and expect to win games with 0 points in the second half unless you score like a ton in the first half. But they didn't.
Yeah,
they did not have a great lead in the beginning. They only won the Dolphins game because of the pick six. They legitimately have issues with drops and turnovers. I know it was raining out. That probably affect things, but they should have ran the ball more then.
Right. I have no idea who's gonna be I don't know what they're gonna do on offense. Like wide receiver market is nobody out there. There's nobody that's gonna.
They should have picked up Julio Jones.
Something would have been better than nothing. I don't think you can talk Larry Fitzgerald coming out. I don't know if he still would have it, but Either way, they've got. I think they got to work on it. So
right, like I feel like they didn't use Rashee Rice enough.
Right, I don't think they used. I don't know if they used Nicole Hardman enough. But we'll see. I mean, they're definitely going to be a playoff team. I don't think they're going to lose more games than the Broncos where the Broncos.
No, yeah, they're not going. With what the Chiefs' schedule's like, they're not losing these. They're not going to lose all these games.
No,
not even if they lost Patrick Mahomes, they're losing all these games.
No, I'd be more worried if they lost defensive piece.
Yeah, they have their defense is what's keeping them in games. They are a better defensive team than offensive team this year, which is crazy to say, but it's true.
Yeah. I believe Jason got his first win against Travis, right?
Yes, that was the first time, and that's good for Jason.
Right. I don't really have much else to say. I don't think the Eagles. Like I said, the Eagles won the game. They did enough to win it, but that was about it.
The Eagles just keep finding ways to win. I mean, I don't know how they lost to the Jets besides injury, but
I mean, 3 interceptions.
Yeah, injury and interception. So as long as they don't, that doesn't happen. But we'll see. The Eagles have tough teams going forward, like they play Buffalo and the 49ers. So we shall see.
Yep. I think that's about it. I don't know what else I really like. Like Eagle, I want to see a little bit more out of the Eagles. We'll see how they do against I think their best game is going to be against when they play the Giants, but we'll see then too. So
right, I think they have like easy games at the end of the schedule because they haven't played the Giants yet.
Didn't they have another team, the Cardinals?
Yeah, they play the Cardinals. So as long as they don't lose those games and go and don't have momentum going into the playoffs, they should be fine.
Right.
The question is, they just can't. The question is like, will they win the division with how good Dallas did?
Yeah. Well, we'll see how it goes towards the end. I mean, they could lose to the Giants at the end if they decide to pull starters so that they're not, hurting. The worst thing you can do is hurt a starter.
Right. If they're playing for home field advantage, because they do only they have it right now, but like they're only one loss away from like the Lions. So
yeah. Well, I think that's it. With that, thank you for joining us. So please like, share, subscribe. Give us any feedback you can tell, and we'll catch you here next time. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you. See you when we see you. Till then, have a good one, and bye.